And this is precisely as to why, when I wrote our Constitution that the Imperial Council decided to ratify and make our law form, under no circumstances will we be doing fractional reserve anything around here. Can't do it. Because the foolishness that these non-substance guys be doing all across the planet. And it is the populations that pay for the callousness, the exuberance, and the futile that these investors or these guys that sell to investors have gotten folks into. So the international banksters, through their guys, make particular moves. They know that it's going to sink, quote-unquote, economies. The population of those so-called economies are going to come and bear the brunt to bail out the parties that were doing all of this non-substance foolishness. And you know that they don't know what's going on. They don't know the difference. They don't know why they shouldn't be engaged in that. They don't have training like that. We work very hard to make sure all of our nationals are well trained. All of our nationals know what is going on and why things are happening. And what happens when you think short-sighted. There are consequences to I want it right now. There are consequences to short attention spans. There are consequences to instant gratification. If you don't pay as you go, you're beholden to those that you are indebted to. And now they can dictate terms to you on anything you do openly, privately, officially, internally, or externally. So under Article 6 of our Constitution, so no, we're never going to be doing none of that. Under Article 3 of our Constitution, I made sure I broke the lock and the key. Because how they generally get you is they will send folks in to stir up stuff and push you towards particular things that will suspend your quote-unquote Constitution that most don't have. They generally have a Greater Mixed War, not a Constitution, and most don't know the distinction between the two. So they get folks to alter their law form, or they get folks to go into a quote-unquote state of emergency where they're going to alter the law form, and then they will put things back. By the time it's all said and done, they would have come in and they would have taken over the central bank. That's what the international bankers do. And once they own and control the central bank, they now control the land and labor of those who participate with that central bank. And folks are tricked into thinking they have privacy, rights, freedom, and liberty. It's going to get ugly out there and fast. I had been telling folks this for decades. Our work has been making sure that we have a way where we have nothing to do with any of that nonsense, and that stuff ever can have anything to do with us. Not our issue, not our problem, and not our fight. So I know a lot of folks don't see where things are, don't see where things are going, or why they're going in the direction that they are. There are those that can tell you about the quote-unquote Project 2025. There are those that can tell you about quote-unquote Project 2027. There are those that can tell you about quote-unquote Project 2030. You still don't see folks talking about it, though. The ultra-rich are going to make it where there will be some menial work around, but most of the work will be handled by automation or automation that has been convergent with AI. And so basically, you're going to take a whole populations of all parties that are signatories onto what's called the UN Charter. Take their entire populations and put them on one massive global public dole, one massive public roster. If you have any type of identification number that's tied back to any signatory onto the UN Charter, there'll be no more what they call pay. Billions will be put on one single system of monthly allotments. The monthly allotment, you will not be able to save it. It's going to expire. When they were giving out stimmies during the COVID scam and the lockdowns, a lot of folks didn't spend some or all of those stimmies. Those quote-unquote stimulus checks. they sat on them, or they paid down some of the bills and they sat on the rest. They figured it out then. So no, they didn't want folks sitting on the net. They want them spending it. So the only way we can do that is to put expiration dates on it. So we're going to give you these digital tokens where you can fractionalize everything, buy a piece of this and buy a piece of that. Supposedly buying, you're not really buying anything because digital tokens are backed by nothing and no one. So you cannot convey title because it's basically a debt unit. It doesn't exist. It's computer code. So they're building all these server farms. A lot of the servers have been farms are being canceled or being delayed. However, for all the cameras they need to surveil folks and for all the data from all the transactions that all that are going to be in their system are engaged with on a daily basis, whether it's their medical or their dental or their quote unquote education, their passports, their marriage license, their driver's license, and all this other stuff, their insurance, all those things are going to be in their microchips. And all the things that's tied back to every last one of those items and every single transaction that's done with all of them, it's all being stored somewhere. That's why they want to have all these data farms, these server farms. These server farms, they take up inordinate amounts of electricity and inordinate amounts of water to cool them down. And inordinate amounts of silver. Again, the silver demand is going nowhere but up. So those who insist on participating in that global modern-day Babylon system that folks were told not to get into, they were told to come out of Babylon, and folks are rushing to go into it. The grown folks have made that decision to participate when they were told not to. So if they like it, I love it. We're not here to convince nobody of nothing. Let them do what they're going to do. I just know that we have built our own global system so that our folks don't have to participate in any of that nonsense. We're not playing those games. Well, if you have the microchip, you can't buy or sell on their system. We don't care. We don't need their system. So for those who succumb to that, well, lamentations. With great wisdom comes great misery. We love them. Gotta respect their decisions and stay out their way while they deal with the consequences of those decisions. In the meantime, we got things to do to make sure that what we have built stays unencumbered, not entangled into none of their mental retardation that they have for the system of control that they are imposing. When they tell folks, you get this monthly allotment, you have no rights, no freedoms, no liberty, no protection, no privacy, no nothing, and you'll like it. And if folks choose that, that's a them problem, not ours.